Good. All right, people, place your bets in the chat. We are going to be having some predictions open for this semi-finals. And as a reminder, I believe this will not be a best. I don't think this is a best of 5. Because it's the off season. Yes.
Oh, is it not?
Yeah, this is a best of 3. It's made this tournament's gonna be even shorter. Oh god.
Ay. Yeah, I guess I'll look around it. Yeah, you know what? I gotta take your word for it. Yeah, I'm just gonna take your word for it. Anyway, we're gonna be kicking off our semifinals now on Berlingrad LE. God damn it! Speaking about short tournaments. Here in the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, we of course have our blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea. He of course is going to be representing KZ Gaming. KZG. He is Sola.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Chinese Protoss player representing Good Game Gaming, GGG. Oh.
Or PPP.
Just suddenly in the middle of macroing. Oh, wait, I gotta go. I couldn't. Okay.
That oh man, I just realized that I was trying to connect it to like Spidey senses, but that would be like the worst Spidey senses in the world. It's like I need to pee. There must be a proxy on the map. I don't know if that's the best or the worst. The best or the worst kind of what's the word I'm thinking of here? Like psychic ability or senses.
Yeah.
At least when it comes to StarCraft.
You know, when you gotta go, you gotta go. But yeah. So we'll be back as soon as Solar is ready for us, as soon as he's ready. But yeah, I did also just reconfirm it's because it's the off season. So for the past couple of editions, ever since I am Katowice, the semis have been best of 3s instead, which also threw me off as well. I wasn't prepared for it when we first found out.
Yeah,
I'm not used to it, right? Like, it's like, the hell. where are best of 5s?
But I guess it kind of makes sense in a way. I mean, especially, well, I'm thinking now especially because, you know, there is going to be a patch coming sometime in the near future. So maybe it's like the rationale is, all right, just get the tournament out of the way quicker. So because it's not going to be as conducive of a practice environment since it is the off season. Yeah. And, there's going to be a patch coming.
Exactly. This is going to be a patch. There's maybe going to be even a new map pool as well. I know there's been some murmurings about that potentially being a thing. And it also goes to show that, again, like, the people are taking a break at the moment. Some of them are anyway. Like, the off-season is quickly coming to a close. Like, we did just have the GSL qualifiers.
We did, didn't we? And it's the format of GSL is going to take a while to get used to.
Yeah, it's so different. It's vastly different.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god. But yeah, it's gonna be fun watching GSL again. Like, it's been a while since we've had it, and yeah, I think it's also been a while since I've really been immersed in it as well. Like, I know some of the other seasons of GSL were a little bit, like
well.
But
I was gonna also ask, is that because GSL last year anyway overlapped a lot with us casting DreamHack?
It did.
That was the major thing for me why I stopped keeping up with GSL.
Mm-hmm. True. There was just a lot of StarCraft going on, And speaking of a lot of StarCraft, I was in the middle of his intro, representing Good Game Gaming, GGG, the Chinese Protoss. It is Cyan.
Man. That delay on the intro made it that much sweeter. Gotta get to see him.
Exactly.
Good guy Solar.
And you know, is he the best of guys? Like, part of me feels like, you know, I want the series to go well. I want an ace match. I want Cyan to put up a good fight. But at the same time, do I want non-stop PvP? Because I was looking at the bracket, because we didn't cast ESL Asia last week, and I was quickly checking. It was nothing but Protoss. And I was like, oh no. Are we gonna have a
We
repeat?
don't cast for 1 week! 1 week! And this is what happens.
SMH my hedge. Last week, I just wasn't feeling too good, and on top of that, like, I was looking at the bracket, and I was like, do I really want to put Oreo through this? Like, do I? Yeah. Like, I feel so bad. It's like, Oreo, do you want to come on and guest cast? Oh, by the way, we don't have any Zerg players.
You were like, I was already feeling unwell, and then I looked at the bracket and I was like, well, I do not want to die.
I was like, and I found out why. You know, there was a disturbance in the force, and a million Zergs cried out in pain. They were all gone. There's one left.
And he is the one to throw the ring at a... I might be mixing up movies here.
Yeah, I was talking about Star Wars, mate. You know, the Obi-Wan trailer just came out.
Oh, yeah. Heard of that.
The best part about it was they just played Duel of Fates during the trailer.
Non-stop.
Yeah, they pretty much they had it on repeat. Let's go.
They know their audience.
Yep, pretty much. Oh god. And speaking of mates, it's been a while since we've casted together, but have you missed the Stargate openers? Have you missed? Are we going to see double Stargate Void Ray?
Oh, well, I actually did a double take because I didn't recognize what I was looking at, and then it took me a while to remember, oh wait, there's a standard PvZ. It's coming out for both of our players, so I guess I have, in a way. I guess I have missed this. If it all of a sudden seems fresh in my mind again.
Yeah, I was about to say that while you've been gone, there has been a shift in the meta in PvZ. Stargate play has fallen off a little bit ever since Katowice, and we've actually been seeing a lot more ground toss coming out from our Protoss players. So we're kind of seeing that here. Kind of. We still only have one Stargate, and we do see Cyan immediately going into a robo.
Oh? Hopefully we get to see a Twilight Council come out from this as well. But it could just be, you know, a quick transition to Disruptor to keep himself safe that we've seen for the past couple of months, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've seen that. That's typically like to help support those Void Rays, right? But Cyan threw down additional gateways, so, you know, things are kind of being a little bit weird here. We also have a bunch of sentries, mate. We're seeing a Soul Train. Let's go.
Dude. Cannot believe it's taken us this long to cast a Soul Train, but here we are. There goes that Twilight Council with the Forge immediately following that up. Cyan has nothing on his mind right now but Blink Stalkers and +1.
I kind of like this. Like, you were talking about, you were mentioning how odd it was that the Twilight Council was so late, and that's because, I mean, we just see mass sentries here to help out this Immortal, and Cyan is going to be pushing out. War Prism is already on the way to help reinforce, and we'll see how much damage he can get done. Solar isn't quite ready for this. He still needs a little bit more time to get out those Ravagers to help deal with those force fields.
Yeah, Sola has recognized what's coming his way by the sheer amount of the sentries for one. And he sees all the Stalkers backing it up, and he's like, wait a minute, what year is this?
Yeah, and he's done a really good job at slowing this down. The Lings have just been so annoying. They even go for a bit of a counterattack. Cyan, he's not pulling back. Or he shouldn't be pulling back. Oh.
He's pulling back.
Oh, okay.
Once again, another massive advantage for Solar right now. He's able to delay the push for so long. You were mentioning it, but he had 0 Ravagers by the time Cyan was pushing out. He just finished up his Roaches. Now he has units sap. 7 Ravagers, 4 Roaches. He's working on an Infestation Pit as well. And all of his upgrades. Solar is in a very comfortable position right now.
Yeah, like
unfortunately, really shouldn't be on Leningrad, but
unfortunately, because Cyan's push was delayed by so much, I respect that he also recognized how late his push was, so he didn't commit. He turned back because he's like, well, I missed my window. I missed my timing. Like, at this point, if I push out, I'm just gonna die. Like, the Solar's gonna have too much. But because of that, Solar, he's being greedy. He's taking up, right? Hive is already on the way.
Yep, those lurkers are going to be coming down pretty soon with all of their upgrades. And I do like that Cyan is secking up as well. Those disruptors are just about the best unit you can really get right now against a Roach Ravager force. But Solar's already thinking ahead. He doesn't want to be stuck on Roach Ravager too much longer.
Yeah, it's like Cyan is one step behind right now. Like these disruptors are going to be great against Roach Ravager, but with the completion of this Hive, Solar, he's going to be able to get Vipers, and there's nothing to stop the Vipers. How do you stop them? Usually with feedbacks, usually with High Templar, and like that tech just isn't here for Cyan.
Well, he's getting Templar, just not the high ones.
Unfortunately not, he is working on the dark ones instead. Second robot being thrown down for that double disruptor production, and to be fair, Hive isn't done yet. Vipers aren't out, so right now disruptors can get some damage done.
Yeah, there's actually a really decent window of opportunity that Cyan wants to take advantage of. Solar is being very careful not to overextend though, and that I think is probably the best chance for Cyan to just try to bait out these units. Kinda does! Cuts the army in half, but Solar so quick under Corrosive Biles. Loses, what, 1 Roach and a couple of Lings?
And Solar's just relentless behind this because, again, he's buying a little time. Ooh, decent disruptor shot now, finally. But you know what? The Vipers, 3 of them were just made. They are coming out. They still need a little bit more time. There we go. As they do come out of the eggs, they need to gather that energy, and the Lurkers are already morphed in.
They are, but they are also vanilla Lurkers at the moment. There's still a lot that Cyan can really get away with right now, as long as he utilizes his blinks and his purification novas to the best of his ability. It is close, but there is a fairly decent chance for Cyan. Vipers coming in though.
Yeah,
and that just shifts the favor so much more to Solar.
Exactly, he's got the Abducts, he wants them, he wants the Disruptors, he will get one of them, and just like that, the Disruptor falls. And now Cyan has to respect these Vipers. There's enough energy for 2 more Ducks, and from here he's gonna pull back. Meanwhile, a bit of a run by, yeah, a bit of a misrally. He does get a Queen at least, but the effectiveness of this army, like it's kind of getting weakened as time goes on.
Is Purification Nova's not getting a single unit there. Wow. That Nova either didn't go off or it missed everything.
I mean, every single disruptor just got killed. We do have a bit of a silent run by, and
okay.
it looks like he can maybe get this base, but other than that, Cyan cannot push on forward. He actually does get the hatchery. Oh my god. Knocks Solar down to 3 hatcheries.
Yeah, this is actually a really good turning point right now for Cyan. He does need to be a little bit more wary of a potential counterattack, though. He's making the absolute best use of his Zealots right now. And Solar doesn't really have much of a bank to work with.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, the armies are in the middle of the map. Looks like Void Ray almost gets caught out. Oh god, Solar wants to fight. The Vipers aren't here with the army. Okay, they're lagging a little bit behind, but he's going for it. The Novas go up, and the Vipers aren't here to deny them. Oh!
And that's a massive skadoosh on the Disruptors. Every single Nova getting a decent clump of the army. Solar, he can't reinforce this really. There's no easy way for him to reinforce it. He knows he needs to take out a base at least. He needs to equalize the damage in that way. But he can't do it.
He really cannot. Another Nova goes off. Solar, his move out was messy. We see a blink on forward. Every single Viper is going to get taken out. We have detection as well. Solar loses his entire army. GG gets called. And Cyan takes game 1.
And let me remind everyone, this is a best of 3 coming down. Cyan just needs to win 1 more map. And he makes it to the finals. Zerg is exterminated from the bracket.
Oh my god, they're gonna go extinct, mate. It's happening. It's We'll see how this story concludes. We'll see if we can make it to an ace match because they are making the lobby. We are getting into game number 2. And again, Solar, he was taking up so well. He was honestly trading so well. But that final move out where like his army was really all over the place in the middle of the map, his Vipers were lagging behind. He was not ready to deal with those disruptors coming his way. And we saw his army just collapse.
Yeah, I really want to praise Cyan there for making the most out of a tough situation.
Yeah.
And making enough out of it to actually take the victory in the end. Like you were saying, everything was going Solar's way, man, until that one run by sniped the hatchery and Solar went into panic mode a little bit and felt like he needed to overextend and equalize, which, in fairness, he probably did, but yeah, we all saw how that went. Regardless, that was game number 1. This is game number 2, and it's going to be on Hotwire LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. You, of course, have a Blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing KZ Gaming, KZG. All of the Zerg players in chat right now, this is who you need to send your energy to, because he is the sole... Not even the sole Zerg player left. He's the sole non-Protoss player left. He is Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Chinese Protoss player representing Good Game Gaming, GGG, currently leading this series 1-0. Crazy. It is Cyan. And I have some news for you. Ranger told us in the chat, and I refreshed, and it is true. Beastalk 2-0 Zest.
Hashtag beef.
The beef was too strong.
Dude. Stroked his beef all over him.
Oh my god.
And that's not a 2-1 either. That was... Zest didn't even take a map off a Beastalk.
I'm shook.
Dominant. Absolutely dominant. Now he just needs to do the same to Classic, which, honestly, I mean, I feel like if you can 2-0 Zest, you can 2-1 at least Classic.
100%. Mate, if you can 2-0 Zest, you can literally defeat any Protoss player on the planet. 100%. Like Beastalk,
Cyan, let's go.
You have to fear the Beastalk right now. But yeah, that's absolutely insane, and that's an insane upset, and we may have another upset here because again, Solar is a world-class player. Everyone I'm sure was thinking that he was going to come out on top, but he's already up against the ropes, and Cyan only needs one more to move on to the grand finals.
It's still tripping me up that this is the semifinals and we're still in a best of 3, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. Cyan just needs un momento por favor.
Yeah, that is all he needs, and we'll see where this takes us, as so far Cyan, everything is pretty normal. He's going for a Stargate opener, but again, it is just an opener. We have seen that Cyan is willing to go into something a little bit more unorthodox, like going for that mass entry immortal style. And again, something to fear with Cyan is how he handles his Novas, how he handles his Protoss balls.
Exactly. Juggles them.
Like a clown. That was a great Yaku quote, by the way. Go ahead. Shaking my head.
I'm never gonna live that down.
Oh god. It's fine.
It's a great
it's fine.
simile because, yeah, as it's positive and negative.
It is.
You know, context.
Yeah. There's no, no hard feelings meant here, none at all whatsoever. But meanwhile, outside of this Stargate opener, we do have a Void Ray. It's going to be able to clean up a lot of these overlords. Behind this, Cyan doesn't throw down a Robo. He throws down a Twilight Council instead. Oh!
Dude, the Zergling barely able to not get in.
God, that was so close. Yeah, Solar. He's playing in the dark right now. He does see a handful of these adepts though. But you mean they were made earlier to help hold on to that third base. Nothing too sus there for the time being. Stasis trapped in the main base. Does get spotted. Solar will be able to keep it alive. And what's important is that Solar does have an Overlord here on the left-hand side of the map, so it is poised to go into the main base as soon as the lair is done. But again, it's still a ways off, and Cyan already has Glaives on the way.
Coming down Glaives, and also +1 air weapon, so yeah, this is a very this is like a variant of this is one of the early variants of the Stargate style, wasn't it, back when, you know, we were just shifting from the Glaive Adept meta to the Stargate meta. Well, and people were trying to combine the two, and this was something that was still being used for a while, but was also, you know, just difficult to control, which is why the popularity kind of fell off.
Well, I'm really curious to see if Solar's about to die right now, because something that just happened is that Solar, he scouted, he tried to scout with his Ling, he didn't get into the main, but he saw the Cybercore researching. So he's being told that it's Skytoss. That's how he's preparing. But we have all these Glaive Adepts coming across the map, so is he ready for it? He does have a bunch of roaches. He's gonna wall off. He's fine, perfectly fine against these Adepts.
Yeah, another one of those scenarios where Solar didn't really know what was coming his way, or at least he wasn't entirely certain what was coming his way, so he just played it safe, you know? He made the minimum amount of roaches he needed, just in case it was Glaive Adepts, and then, you know, decided to play reactive from there. Solar dipping in now with the Overseer. He scouts the additional Stargates as well as the Fleet Beacon, almost at Cybercore.
Yeah, again, this is such an important scout for not a Cyan for not catching that Overlord earlier. That was, again, getting ready for that scout. At the same time, Cyan, it looks like he's going to be able to... Yeah, he does force a cancel on this fourth base, so at least he is finding some damage with these Adepts.
Well, he's utilizing the wide open spaces of Heartwire very, very well, too, I might add. He's dodging back and forth, keeping himself active on the map while he builds up that Golden Armada. Important to note, though, Solar now has a Spire on the way. I'm curious to see whether or not he will go Mutilus because he wants to sort of avoid the Void Race for now and harass the economy instead, or if he's ready to commit to a longer game and immediately get Corruptors.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, he saw the Fleet Beacon and all the Stargates, but at the time the Fleet Beacon was still being researched, so he doesn't know if it's going to be, like, straight into Carriers or Tempests, or if it's going to be Flux Veins into Void Rays. Obviously, we can see that it is going to be Mass Void Ray, but Solar is still a little bit in the dark about that. Regardless, the Spire is going to come in handy, but I'd be surprised if he goes into Mutilus from here. There we go. Corruptors are coming out, which is just what the Void Rays want to see.
Oh, yeah. Sure, if you get a bunch of Corruptors, you can start one-shotting the Void Rays, but that doesn't matter much when Prismatic Alignment melts your Sky Army.
Yeah, there's gonna be it's gonna be a load of Void Rays. Finally, they have been spotted by all these Lings, so Solar is well aware. The big thing that we're missing from Solar is going into either Infestors or into those Vipers. He's still lacking those Spellcasters, and the Corruptors are still on the way, so the Void Rays are gonna find a little bit of damage here, but not too much. The Queens are here in position, but are they gonna be in position for these Adepts? They're still alive from earlier.
Oh, I just realized that they are. Cyan wants nothing more than to Prismatic down to Satchery and then dip immediately out, but his Queens are making it so annoying for him. The Adepts dip in, and they get a whole bunch of workers. We don't have Game Heart, I just realized, but 13 drones have gone down this entire game. Also, Cyan has only lost a single probe, I just realized.
Mate, Cyan
what? How does that happen?
He has lost nothing this game. It's absolutely insane. Finally, some Adepts are going to go down, but it's going to be well worth it because they just eviscerate the mineral lines of Solar. Oh my, yeah, they're still going.
That is at least 15 drones in this single instance. I mean, the unit's lost tab says that Solar lost 25 drones. I think that was all entirely to those Adepts. I don't believe any drones went down before that. Solo's economy is completely in shambles right now. It's gonna take him a while to rebuild.
His drone count is just in the gutter. His drone count is not looking too good. He's got to make some damage happen here and now. Stasis Trap goes off on all of these links. He still has a lot of these corruptors, and the queens are walking across the map. Again, Solar, he has to make use of these transfuses while he can.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're still in the current patch, so transfuse is still something that Solar can utilize. But so is battery overcharge. Solar's starting to make a lot of ground here. Prismatic alignment finally being popped, as is battery overcharge. I like this from Cyan. He waited until the Corruptors went deep into his base.
Exactly.
So it would be a little bit more difficult for them to escape.
Yeah, he was holding onto that prismatic alignment for a long time. Finally, it runs out, and that means the Corruptors can finally engage with this. But again, Cyan has slowed this down so much. At the same time, the Adepts are killing even more drones across the map. They're going unhindered. But doesn't matter, because again, Solar is all in. He has to end the game here. He takes out the third, but again, he needs a little bit more than that. Sorry, this is the fourth.
Caustic Spray? Caustic Spray? Yeah, this is the fourth base. So, that's Cyan's economy. It will take a pretty massive hit, but it's not going to be in the complete gutter, like Solus earlier was.
Yeah, no, that time is possible. Now we have another prismatic alignment. Every single queen is going to go down. They have lost all of their energy. They cannot transfuse any longer. We do have some reinforcements coming in, but they have roaches. They don't shoot up.
That they do not, and Solar has not taken out enough of these Void Rays to really start turning the tables. These Adepts are still getting drone kills.
They're still alive.
36 in total, 38 in total this entire game.
Oh my god, it's happening, mate. It's happening. The fall of the Zerg. Even with the Queen Walk, even with the transfuses, it still wasn't enough. Because again, Solar was all in because of all that damage. The Void Rays are coming in, and there are not enough Corruptors. And now there's no anti-air left.
Absolutely zero. Not even a couple of Spore Crawlers. G is called, and Cyan takes out Solar 2-0, making it to the Grand Finals in a PvP. GG!
GG, well played. What is happening this week? What is happening this tournament? It's absolutely insane. As I quickly report the scores for everyone to see, Zest gets knocked out. Solar gets knocked out. They were the ones who were supposed to be the finalists today. And that's just not going to happen.
Not at all, mate. The Zerg explosion came, not with a meteor, but with a Cyan. No, that doesn't work.
I'm...
Regardless. Regardless, that was a fantastic series played from Cyan. I mean, game number 1,
yeah,
Solo was absolutely in control of that game, and Cyan somehow was able to turn it around, fighting his heart out. Game number 2, though, we had a complete reversal in the dynamic. Solar was never in charge there.
Exactly. Like, God. I'm just so impressed with how Cyan was able to execute his build. I'm so impressed that even though Cyan's initial Glaive Adept timing didn't hit, he was very conservative with his Adepts, and they paid off. They paid off so much later on. He just went back home with them, and then in 2 minutes, he was able to snake around the map. He avoided all the Overlords because they were all dead. He avoided all the creep as well, and he found a way into the natural, into the main, and he just wreaked havoc, mate. It was crazy.
Absolutely. Some Protoss players may try to YOLO their Adepts in because, you know, you have to do something with them.
Yeah.
Cyan was doing something with them, just not immediately.
He was thinking of the bigger picture, you know. He wasn't thinking of the kind of like the what was in front of him, but what was ahead instead. And just like that, Cyan is in the finals, and this may be his first time in the finals, actually.
I believe it is, actually, yeah.
Oh.
Nodding my head in agreement there. Previously was knocked out a couple of times. What was I going to say? Yeah, it does definitely feel like Cyan got into Solar's head a little bit there in game number 2. Every single time, like, you see Solar going for roaches because he thinks it's going to be, whatchamacallit? Adepts. Nope, suddenly we have Void Rays, and then Solar comes in, he scouts the fleet beacon, he gets Corruptors thinking it's going to be immediately into Tempest of Carriers. I made Void Race.
Yeah.
Void Race is what we have.
Flux Vein, Mass Void, let's go. And I'm sure, even if there was going to be Void Race, I'm sure Solar still planned to go for like a Queen Wolf with all those Corruptors. Like, we have seen them have a lot of success in this matchup, but like, how can he really pull off that push without having any reinforcements, because he's just losing so many drones? Like, he just didn't have the economy behind him to really support that. And again, he was all in with that, and he had to end the game then and there, and he did, but in the other way.
Yeah.
I just
He ended in the other way.
He did. GG, well played. And I kind of want a world. I don't know if we're gonna get it, but I kind of want a world where we have a finals and there's no Korean. Like, I kind of want a Beastork versus Cyan finals.
I believe. Again, to me, if you can 2-0 Zest, you can definitely beat Classic.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty confident in the Beastork Cyan finals. Which is where all bets are off. They both get to be completely unhinged.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. I'm still trying to recover. F's in the chat for the people that predicted for Solar, by the way.
Oh. Yes, realize that. F's in the chat for Oreo.
Yeah, Oreo's here as well.
One person predicted Cyan with 10 grapes. Meanwhile, 3 people predicted Solo with 2.2k grapes. Whoever you are that bet on Cyan, you absolutely making bank right now.
Oh yeah, he's rolling in grapes.
Beautiful. Squashing him.